Good morning, everyone. So I hope you all are enjoying this year's Entrepreneur Summit and ready for another powerful and impactful session filled with financial tools and tips to help you elevate your business. My name is Selena Hill, and I'm the digital editor at Black Enterprise, and I would like to welcome you all into the Lyte Map Your Way to Business Success session, sponsored by Nationwide and featuring hip-hop pioneer MC Lyte. So Angela Lindsay, the Associate Vice President of Sales at the Southeast region of Nationwide, will tell you more about this session. Let's give a warm welcome to Angela and our sponsor, Nationwide.
All right, thank you, Selena. Can everyone hear me? How about that? All right. Good morning, I'm Angela Lindsay, Associate Vice President of Sales at Nationwide. Welcome to Nationwide's signature session, where we will discuss the 7 steps to a comprehensive business master achievement plan. These steps will help you go from vision to execution. We've partnered with today's leading business and financial experts to give you tangible tips to take your business to the next level. On behalf of Nationwide, thank you for joining us for what promises to be an insightful, inspirational, and informational session. We are extremely grateful for our partnership with Black Enterprise because it gives us the opportunity to make meaningful connections with entrepreneurs, suppliers, and professionals who, like us, are dedicated to their businesses and the customers they serve. From the insurance products we deliver to the communities we empower, we are proud to have a culture that values and addresses the needs of every member and partner we serve. Our success is a direct result of your success. Nationwide also believes in the entrepreneurial spirit of business owners like you, whether you're building from the ground up or just looking for ways to advance your company. We are committed to helping you grow and prosper. As the #1 small business insurer, #1, Nationwide understands the unique needs of business owners. Our new Business Solutions Center website is dedicated to providing information and solutions on complex business topics, including financial forecasting, how to maximize social media to grow your business, and so much more. As you can see on the screen, we've highlighted just a few of the pages from the website. Make sure you visit our booth to learn more about this great resource. And now for the part you've all been waiting for. We are excited to have two very special guests here with us today, Dr. Lynn Richardson and MC Lyte, who will share with us that Master Achievement Plan and how creating your plan will help your business grow. Want to make sure you guys just take a moment to fill out the Nationwide cards at your seats to win a brand new Apple Watch, and the winner will be announced at the very end of the program. So let's dive right in. Turn your attention to the video clip of Dr. Lynn Richardson, and it shows our relationship with her and Nationwide.
Every business is different and has unique needs. And even if your small business is home-based, it's important to make sure you have the right insurance coverage. Did you know that oftentimes your homeowner's policy won't provide adequate coverage for a home-based business? Consider a business owner's policy, a straightforward package of coverages designed for the many sides of your business, so you can be sure everything you worked so hard to build is protected. Contact your local Nationwide agent or log on to learn more.
Dr. Lynn Richardson, she's named by Urban Influence magazine as one of the top 20 hottest influencers in America. Dr. Richardson is an author, entertainment executive, and celebrity financial coach who uses her quick wit and humorous presentation style to help others face their money issues and achieve professional, personal, and spiritual harmony. Lynn is featured regularly on BET, Centric Networks. She's appeared in Essence, Jet, Upscale, on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and countless other media outlets. Her approach to wealth creation helped a woman with 4 bankruptcies, 2 foreclosures, become a successful homeowner and real estate investor in just 9 months. Is that not phenomenal? In 2005, she published her first book, Living Check to Monday, The Real Deal About Money, Credit, and Financial Security, which achieved the bestseller status at the 2008 Congressional Black Caucus Annual Legislative Conference. Dr. Richardson is currently the president and CEO of MC Lyte's Hip-Hop Sisters Foundation and president and CEO of MC Lyte's Sunny Girl Entertainment and Celebrity Management Firm, where she oversees empowerment programs that impact the globe. MC Lyte, lyricist, inspirational speaker, DJ, pioneer, icon, veteran, and entrepreneur. She's one of the most prolific and well-respected female hip-hop artists of all time. MC Lyte was the first female to perform hip-hop at the White House. First African-American female to serve as the president of the Los Angeles chapter of the Recording Academy, which is a Grammy organization. First rap artist ever to perform at New York's historic Carnegie Hall. First female rapper to ever receive a gold single. First female solo rapper ever nominated for a Grammy. First solo female rapper to be honored and inducted into the VH1 Hip Hop Honors. So if that wasn't enough, she's also the author of Unstoppable, Igniting the Power Within to Achieve Your Greatest Potential. MC Lyte provides keynote addresses at educational institutions, community centers, and corporations around the globe. And lastly, MC Lyte is the CEO of Sunny Girl, Inc. and the chair of the Hip-Hop Sisters Foundation, which has presented over $750,000 in college scholarships. So let's bring to the stage MC Lyte.
One. Oh, there I am. How y'all doing? Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today. I want to cut to the chase. Now, it's been 30 years that I have been in this business. So that's 3 decades of the life and entertainment. And I can tell you that it did not all start for me until 7 years ago when I was able to meet this woman that I am about to bring up to this stage. I met Dr. Lynn through Russell Simmons. One of the initiatives they had there was Get Your Money Right. And there we met, but we hadn't had a chance to really talk. But it wasn't until she gave me a call and said, do you want to start a foundation? And I was like, oh, sure, you know, she's just talking. But little did I know that she meant business. And 4 months after saying yes, we had 501c3 status, and we were giving away 2 $100,000 scholarships. What I noticed very early on is that I needed someone to take my business to another level. I was having fun being MC Lyte, but I always saw myself as an entrepreneur. I always saw myself with a business and with employees that were happy. And it's beautiful that you have the map here. So you should be very participatory in this phase that we're about to go through, because it's this exact phase that has helped my business go from nothing to something in the last 7 years with working with Dr. Lynn. I needed strategy. I needed planning. I prayed. I said, God, please send me someone that knows what they're doing, because I've had a whole lot of fun with the management that I used to have, but I was really ready to take it into the next stratosphere, and I wanted to put myself in a position where I could help other people do something about their careers and have a business and a firm where people would take us seriously, because we were really making an impact in entertainment. And so Lynn was able to do that for me. And with this map, it's so phenomenal how we can go back to the pages of the map where in 2013, 2014, and see everything that has come to fruition. And so she has changed many things in my life. Not only is she a financial expert, but she is a minister, and she is a life coach, and she's a teacher. And many times people say, you give so much credit to Lynn. I know who God sent to me to help me. So I can play dumb, I can play quiet, I can say, oh, I don't want to give that much credit. No, all credit is due to God, and thank you for sending me this sister. Please welcome Dr. Lynn Richardson to the stage. This is going to be fun.
Yes, we're going to have a good time. Thank you so much, MC Lyte.
You are very welcome.
She told the people bring us a table and chair so we can sit down and relax.
Yes.
We just got off the Underground Railroad. We came from, I'm telling you, we came from California. We landed in Atlanta. We got in the car. We drove here. Siobhan told us we could not arrive on a plane this morning, so we drove through the night. And I am just so grateful and thankful to all of you for being here this morning. So we have work to do.
Yes.
So make sure you pull this out. I'm going to try to get through as much of this as I can. I have to say thank you to Black Enterprise for being who you are, for bringing business to hip-hop and beyond, and allowing us as Black people to be who we are with all the magic and glory that we have, but also to excel in business. Thank you so much to the Urban League for just the countless decades of support that you've given to us. Thank you to Nationwide. Can we give Nationwide a round of applause?
Yes.
Yes. For being, I've been in business for 2 decades working with corporations, and Nationwide has not only, they're not here, but they put their money where their mouth is, and they're not just interested in making sure that you're protected, but that you get the resources that you need to continue to grow. And last but certainly not least, I cannot go past this moment without giving thanks to my sisters at the PMM agency. You all are dynamic. There is always a rhyme and a reason and somebody behind the scenes working it. And I know that whatever I've been to Lyte, Siobhan, baby, got you covered. Honey, she's like a little robot. She does it. So thank you all so much. So let's get right to it. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. We're going to go to the screen here and talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. This is not a business plan. This is something that's going to help you do more than what a business plan should do. And I'm not saying that a business plan is not important, because if you've been in business, how many entrepreneurs do we have in the room? Okay, woo! Great. All right, so I'm in the right place. Because let me tell you something. My first step into this was money. I was born and raised in Chicago. My grandmother raised me. She was cleaning homes for wealthy white people, putting me through college. And we lived in the projects. And I knew we weren't rich, but I didn't feel poor. You know what I'm talking about? So when I got off to school, I didn't know anything about money. Grandmamas teach us a few things. Go to school, get a good education, get a good job, go to church on Sunday, wear clean underwear in case you get hit by a bus. Is that in the grandma book? What's wrong with them? They all say that, and they say it over and over again. And I'm like, Grandma, why I got to get hit by a bus? You know, what kind of omen is this on my life going out here in the world every day? And if I get hit by the bus, am I going to have on any underwear when they find me? You know, but that's what she taught me. So I didn't know about money. The only thing I knew about money is if I needed some, she would tell me to go in the room, look on the shelf, look behind the box, inside the pocketbook, inside the zipper, wrapped up in a piece of paper towel is $20. What was that about? Right. You know, it's just like you had the money, I'm going to get hit by a bus, I don't know what's going on here. So I get off to college and I go to a room about half this size. Credit card tables were all around the room. Did anybody know about that room in college? So I did not pick one credit card. I decided to get one of each. That did not go well for me. So the creditors would call and say, well, Lynn, can you borrow the money? I'd say, can I borrow it from you? You know, I had all kind of funny answers. Fast forward, I get out into the real world. My credit was jacked up, all of that kind of stuff. So I knew then that I had to be able to make money. Because first I need to get over this mistake that I had put myself into. And what I quickly realized is I knew how to make money. I knew how to start businesses. I knew how to do things. As a matter of fact, I'm so glad that there are so many entrepreneurs here because I'm sure many of you have experienced or are experiencing what I did. You see, I was a serial entrepreneur. This was back before Extreme Makeover ever came to TV. You could come to my house on a Saturday and I had an insurance license so I could write you an insurance policy. I had a nail license so I could do your nails. I did not have a hair license, but I would do your hair anyway. I would write your resume. I teach you how to quit your man, quit your woman, get a new one. Like I was doing all of these things. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Like 80,000 jobs, right? You know, so we're trying to save the world.
Right now.
Yeah, right. We're trying to save the world, but we're like Lenny and we got plenty. We got lighters in our jacket, you know, all this kind of stuff. And so there was this thing, and we are creative, and we're smart, and some of us have gone to college or trade school or not, or whatever the case may be. So how do we take all of this, and how do we actually build it into something that's sustainable? So that's the difference between a business plan, what you see in front of you with the projections, with the mission statement, with the goals. That's beautiful, and that's great to go in to get your small business loan or maybe to talk to investors. But how do you actually operate in your business every single day? What are you doing on a day-to-day basis to make sure that your vision gets executed? So that's what we're going to talk about today. This is the first thing that we talked about. And when Lyte and I started working together, I was a corporate vice president for a major financial institution, and I had been tremendously successful. And I decided, I said, you know what? I think if I take all this strategy that I'm able to do to help a division grow, if I actually put this into a person, if I put it into you, if I put it into you, if I put it into you, then you could shift just like any major Fortune 100 company. You could actually go to the next level if you had an organization structure behind you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So beyond the business plan, so the first question that I asked Lyte, because we started working on the foundation together, and then very quickly, now we argue over this. She says, I asked her, did she need any help? I say she asked me for the help. But either way, it didn't matter because the moment the conversation started to manifest, we agreed that helping is exactly what I was going to do. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you to ask yourself is, why am I in business? Look at your master achievement plan, and I want you to go to page 2. And why are you in business? If you want to succeed in business, you must know why you are in it in order to develop the appropriate success system. Let me tell you what I mean by that. My first entrepreneurial experience was as a mortgage professional in Chicago. And so I knew very quickly that I had a gift. I knew how to get people approved for mortgages who have been denied over and over and over again. And I knew how to do that legally and ethically. And I understood that that was something that was rare. And so when I talked to other mortgage professionals, I found that they were in it for the money. And that was good. It's no judgment. But I was in it to educate people. So my entire infrastructure of how I operated was completely different Because while the other mortgage professionals were in the office dialing the phone and writing deals and making as much money as they could, no matter if it helped the client or not, I was teaching free classes at community colleges. I was teaching at churches. I was giving credit seminars. I was doing a lot of work that did not pay me in the beginning. But because I was in business to educate, I set up a foundation that still exists today. And that's why when Nationwide called for me to do that the presentation or commercial or interstitial for Centric, it was just an extension of what I was doing over 20 years ago. So I'm going to ask you, Lyte, when I asked you this question, or even maybe today, because you obviously were a legendary rapper, and everybody knows Light as a Rock or Poor Georgie or whatever the case may be. But why are you in business?
Well, you know, I got a head start on page 2, and I said to change lives. I said to make change, to make money, to make a difference, and to help others live their dream. And that is through the firm that we have. But I think more importantly, as an overview, it's important, and I think when we have our conference calls with our team, you know, I always push to them that yes, they are promoting and branding and marketing MC Lyte, but really at the end of the day, they're making the brand MC Lyte shine so that we attract the dollars that we need to give it to the people that need it. And so my mission now has sort of changed through working with you, and that is being able to give young people an opportunity at education, because education gives you opportunity.
Okay. So what would that answer look like for you? Does anybody want to share very quickly? Why are you in business? Is there anybody? Yes. Young lady, you raised your hand first with the glasses. I'm so sorry to point. Yeah, come on, stand up. Come on down.
I think she was just saying, I'm in business.
Right. Yes, yes. Why are you in business?
I am in business to transform lives through education, to train the youth to do better, and to make money in the process.
Okay.
I believe that when, thank you. I believe that when you transform the underprivileged and the underserved youth, you want to change their lives to help to make better decisions, to improve their economic situation. But before that can happen, they need to know that you care, and you have to teach them to make the right decisions, because sometimes at home, what they have been taught is right, society sees as wrong.
Okay, so what I heard from you, you are in business to educate and to transform, right?
Yes.
And so everything that I would see, if I looked at your master achievement plan and then ultimately your business, I would see seeds of education and transformation throughout. If we didn't see any seeds of education and transformation throughout our business, then we need to be able to reassess. Thank you so much. Give her a round of applause. So what I'd like you to do right now is just spend 60 seconds. You're going to take notes here, but you're going to spend some time. I'm going to give some really powerful steps that you can take when you leave this session, because we don't have a lot of time, but I am going to get you through all of it. I want you to just take 60 seconds and write the answer to why am I in business? So if you're writing the answer to this question and you're having a difficult time writing what you feel is in your gut, but you don't know if you should write it, that's it. You should write it. If you're having a difficult time writing the answer because the reason why you thought you were in business before, you're feeling something different now, go with what you're feeling now. Because my business mission has changed over the past 20 years. It used to be I was going to be the mortgage guru of the entire world. But over time, that change, and it is simply the reason I'm in business is to help set people free and to take them to another level so that they can transform. So why am I in business? This is going to be the basis and the foundation for everything that you do next in the Master Achievement Plan. The next thing that you want to go to, and that's on page 2 of your notes.
3.
The next thing, that's on page 3 of your notes that we're going to next. The next thing that we want to talk about is when my business needs to change. Now, how many people here have things that are happening in your business that you are not satisfied with? Right? I do. And we have an excellent business. The nonprofit is doing very well. We've given away actually $900,000 in scholarships over the past 7 years. The for-profit is doing well. We've got a team around the country. MC Lyte is blowing up. Lil Mama's on set. Kelly Price is doing well. Sheila East Foundation. So we've got many things, but I'm still not satisfied. We still have not gotten to where it is in terms of the bigger vision where we want to go. And I know that we are people of faith. We're people of hope. We're people of inspiration. And as entrepreneurs, we got to keep going, right? So a lot of times we don't really acknowledge the things that we don't like. I'm in business with someone who doesn't have integrity. My cash flow is not operating the way it should be, and I'm the reason why. Because I'm spending too much money on either A, staff that I should not be keeping because I feel sorry for them, or I'm spending too much. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Because we feel sorry for people, and we think that we're going to save people's lives. We think we're going to change things. Or I've been in business with this person for so long. Or I've known this person since I was X years old. And how am I going to? These are all the things that you've got to be realistic about. And some of them may bring you to tears because some of them require change. Some of them require ultimate growth. And so when Lyte and I started working together, I didn't really put any emphasis on me telling her what it was that she needed to change, but like, what were some of the things that you saw instantly that you needed to change when we started working together?
Well, prior to, which is why I prayed for God to just bring me someone who saw the vision and who could actually get me into a space of getting to the next level, I noticed that the last manager that I had, although I love him dearly, I actually brought him on out of desperation because I needed to move and I needed to move quickly, and he was there. And so hiring someone who may not really be qualified for the job is one thing that we really have to, focus on saying no to, and just being patient and waiting for the person who can really take you to where it is that you're trying to go to. And he did the best job that he could possibly do, but I knew at a certain point that I needed that change. I needed someone who was, strong in admin, in team leadership, and who wasn't afraid to be surrounded by people who knew more than them. So I knew at that point that I needed to make a change in the business if I were going to grow and not just be MC Lyte on the microphone, if I wanted to take it to another level and be able to have the management firm that I had always dreamed of and have the enterprise that I saw Russell have and I saw Diddy have and Jay-Z and these guys who have just come into the business and really floored it with being able to change people's lives and have a team of people that work with them that are competent and know exactly what it is that they're doing. And so with you coming on, all of that was now havable because you already had been in the business and ran strong teams, and especially because our team is all over the country. Yeah. That takes a special skill to keep people engaged and people connected and in a high communicative space. Yeah. And you are you're the best that I know with that.
Thank you, MC Lyte.
Yeah.
Thank you. Got a little compliment up here while we're at it. Well, and what's interesting about what Lyte saw is the change that she needed, and ultimately it was the person that she had been in business with at that point for 13 years. I was kind of on the outside looking in, but I saw very quickly that what they had created, I was not going to be able to be involved in. And so I didn't try to prove it to her though. So what I want you to know as an entrepreneur, the things that you know need to change, or the things that you see that need to change around you, don't be afraid of that. Because I never came to Lyte and said, well, you should change or you should leave him. As a matter of fact, when she made the decision to let him go, which was like a week later, you know, after I started working with them, I was like, okay, let's try to reconcile, because I'm a minister. You know, I'm trying to pull the Bible all in it and, you know, this kind of thing. Y'all know how we are as black people. You know, grandmama don't want to kick Pookie out. Right. You know, we don't want to do that. We just don't want to do it. But really, I try to look at it from a process of restoration once he's aware, but she was very, very clear. Does anybody here in business know that you need to change something? Anybody? Anybody want to stand up and share? What do you need to change? You have your hand up, yes.
Well, for me in growing my business, I'm good at networking, good at connecting, but my problem was sales. I tried to hire somebody to do my sales for me, and I realized that I was losing more money because I'm my best salesperson. When I put myself forward, I always got the contracts, I always got new clients, but when I put that on other people, I saw the loss. I wasn't getting as many clients as well as getting the money that I needed, so I realized that I need to kind of step up in that area and get the sales, because that's going to get me the results that I need.
Excellent, excellent. And so that's important. And I say something and we're going to get to this later, but I want to make the point now. As an entrepreneur, do what you do best and delegate the rest. Do what you do best and delegate the rest. Give the rest away. I know that in any business that I'm in, if I come into your business and help you, I know how to make it rain. I know how to bring in dollars. I know how to move away the fat, move out the gray, and I know how to focus in, and I know how to go and get the dollar. Now, I will pay somebody else to do everything else. And even if I don't have the money, I will sacrifice, I will go without, and I'll make sure somebody can cover the phone, somebody can do this, even some of the bigger jobs that may require more visibility, because I'm gonna spend 85 to 90% of the time doing what I do best. So what I want you to do for about 30 to 45 seconds, I want you to write down everything on page 3 that you need to change in your business. It could be your mindset, it could be your cash flow, it could be your president, it could be your secretary, it could be yourself, it could be the business. So write down everything that you think you need to change. You have about 30 to 45 seconds to do that. Okay, what I'd like to take you to next is the next page. We're going to go to page 5 in your note, page 4 in your notes. And here, you're going to write what you value. So there are some things that you wrote on page 3, all right? And one of them may have been cash flow. One of them may have been a business line of credit. One of them may have been, access to capital. All of that is going to be categorized under money. Right? You may have written, I need a new assistant, or I need a new salesperson, or I need a new admin. All of that is going to be categorized under employees and staff. You may have written, I want to change my goals. I want to change. So you have written things on page 3 that I now want you to categorize on page 4. Does everybody understand where I'm going with this? Categorize them on page 4. And then what I want you to do in the numbered section on page 4, what's the number one thing you want to change? That's your assignment. What's the number one thing you want to change? Now let me help you understand where I was when I came into this awareness. I was broke as all get out. Do you understand, honey? I wasn't living check to check. Check to check is a blessing. That means you get paid on Friday, and by the next payday you broke. Honey, but check to Monday, I was living check to Monday. That's a whole nother game. You get paid on Friday, and see some stuff happen before Monday. You kick it on the weekend, you pay on your past due bills because in your mind, your current bills are not due yet. And you treat yourself, and by Monday, you're broke. And then I remember when the book first came out, I was a radio personality, and someone said, well, Lynn, what about check to 2 o'clock? I said, get off this telephone. You know, that's when you get paid at 8 a.m. and by 2 p.m., your whole check is gone. So money was a big issue for me. But when I actually did this exercise, money was not my number one thing to change. The number one thing that I needed to change is I needed to systemize my business. I needed to systemize my business. Can I get an amen on that? As everybody's talking about that. Because I was the only one who could make it go. I was the only one who could make it run. I was the only one who could make it flow. And so I had to systemize the business, which means, first of all, I had to change myself because I had to be something that other people would want to model consistently, with excellence, over time. Then I had to develop an operations manual. I had to develop things that I could train. And then this is what you also have to know. You have to inspect what you expect. So when you hire people on your team, you can't just tell them to do it and get a paycheck, and then if you come and look at it 2 weeks later or 2 months later and find out it wasn't done, you get upset. You're the reason why it wasn't done. Because when you bring people on your team, you also get another job that you didn't know about. You become a coach. You become a parent. You become an overseer. You become a leader. You become someone that they have to learn from. So when I started to write what was the most important thing to me, and when I understood I had to systemize my business, then my money began to grow automatically. So 1, I needed to systemize. 2, I needed to get my relationship with God right. 3, like I had all these things. And then finally, even though money was the biggest problem I was having, money was like number 7. Money was not even the first thing that I needed to go after. So what you're going to do when you leave here is you're going to rank the things that you need to change in the order of importance. And you're going to make sure number 1 is number 1. You're going to be honest with yourself. You're going to go back to your team. You're going to go back to the drawing board. You may have to look at your business plan. A lot of times when I speak with entrepreneurs individually in one-on-one sessions, they bring me their business plan. I never look at it. Because by the time they get through with this, many times they're changing the entire plan because they now have a reassessment of what it is that they want to do. Let's turn to page 5 in your notes. And this is really important. What you're going to do next, and this is what we did with Lyte. What do you want your business to look like? If you want more production and more pay, and production is whatever it is you're doing. If you are doing contracts with big corporations, if you are doing hair, if you have a barbershop, if you are selling water, whatever it is, if you want more of it consistently without interruption, you must implement daily practices. Daily practices. Now, does anybody here have the experience of learning what I learned? I remember when I decided not to be in corporate America. And let me be crystal clear. Because the simple fact that you're an entrepreneur does not mean that you are to negate or leave your corporate job. That's what I did. But being an entrepreneur means that you have the ability to integrate and to facilitate and balance multiple streams of income, and one of them can be from your corporate job. Do you understand? Along with that 401k plan and your benefits and all the other stuff they're passing out. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So how can you do this with excellence? So what you're going to do here, I want you to go to your notes, and at the top, I want you to write, what was your number 1 thing that you wrote on page 4? Was it money? Was it people? Was it systems? Whatever it was, I want you to write that one word or that one phrase at the top. So let's just say for me, it's education. What do I want my business to look like? And if education is number 1, I'm going to write education at the top. Now, in part 1, I want you to write your vision of perfection. What does it look like if it's perfect? What does my money look like if it's perfect? In my vision of perfection, where I see myself going, beyond limits, what does that look like? What does the people part of my enterprise look like? What do the contracts, how many do I have coming in? What does the education piece of my business look like? What does it look like? What is that vision of perfection? And my big brother, Les Brown, always says here, aim high. Because if you aim high and miss, it's better than aiming low and hitting, right? So what is that vision of perfection? Like, what was the vision of perfection for you when we started to work together for your enterprise?
I think when we first started, and it's so funny because it's not very different as it relates to the first position. I just want people to be happy. You know, I get to do what I love for a living. And I feel as though the people that work with me, I want them just as happy in the positions that they're in. And being able to flow and being able to do what it is that gets them pumped up. Like, I want them excited to be at work. I want smiling faces. I think I went that detailed.
You actually wrote it, yeah.
Yeah. And then I want to be able to have growth. So when people enter in at one position, I want them to be able to take charge and have that division grow to whatever it is they see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really important. And so when we talked about what it looked like for Sunny Girl and Hip Hop Sisters, our number one priority was people. And for me, you know, I have to bring in a scripture here. The Bible says that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. It doesn't say that the money is too little. It doesn't say that your resources are too little. It says that the laborers, the actual people. And so for us in the company, it's very important to have happy people. It's very important to have people who are aligned with our vision. Every single person on our team, and we have about 16 people on our team across the country, we trust every single one of them with our lives. With our lives. Every single person on our team, we trust with our lives. Conversely, one of my colleagues, who's a COO for another prominent celebrity, when she was going through a process of adoption, she didn't trust anybody in her business. Nobody. She wouldn't even trust the celebrity she was working for to babysit. She didn't trust anybody, which said something. So we set up our business to look like what we believe the vision of perfection was. So what I want you to do in part 1, for each item that you ranked on page 4, you have multiple pages here. So you're going to create your money vision of perfection, your people vision of perfection, your service vision of perfection. Do you get me? Now, this is what you're going to do in part 2. Take notes here. In part 2, you're going to create your 60-day goal. Everybody say 60-day goal.
60-day goal.
Very, very important. Because here's what happens to entrepreneurs. We want to build Rome tomorrow. It's not going to happen, right? We want to go out. We want to make it happen. We've got so much. And we keep grinding and grinding and grinding. And when it doesn't happen, sometimes we'll pick up another stream of income. We'll do something else. But I want you to understand that this is a process. And if you continue to take steps towards your goal, you will eventually get there. So part 1 is the vision of perfection. Say vision of perfection.
Vision of perfection.
Part 2 is the 60-day goal.
60-day goal.
And part 3 is the daily activities.
Daily activities.
Now, here's what began to happen when we did this map for every part of our business. We had a vision of perfection. We had a 60-day goal. We had daily activities. That meant it became very difficult for us to veer off track. We were focused. So when we got phone calls that didn't line up with what was here, we didn't address them. When people called and asked us to come to an event that didn't line up here, we said no. It became very easy because thoughts disentangle themselves when they pass through your fingertips. So if you begin to write what your vision is, what your 60-day goal is, so someone who wants to get a law degree but doesn't have a GED yet, the vision of perfection is I want a law degree. My 60-day goal is to get in a GED class, and my daily activities are to find the class, get a babysitter, make sure I can get, you know, that type of thing. And then you're going to repeat this every 60 days. Say every 60 days.
Every 60 days.
Okay, give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, we've got to do some Q&A, and let me just go through a couple of the things that I want you to do very, very quickly in 1 minute. I want you to turn to page 16 really, really quickly. I want you to turn to page 16 really quickly. How are you going to get there? How are you going to build? Because at the end of the day, we are entrepreneurs. This is not philanthropy. We do want to make money. We do want to build streams of sustainable income so that we can support ourselves, our families, our communities, and generations to come. And so what you've got to do is you've got to put the numbers down. In the left-hand side, I want you to write the service or the item. It could be marketing contracts. It could be people to braid hair. It could be performances. It could be anything that you do to make money. I want you to write that one thing on the left-hand side, and then I want you to write the total income in the next column. So let's just say, for example, for me, when I was in the mortgage business, I can write mortgages. That's what I'd write on the left-hand side. My total desired income is $250,000. Let's just say that. The income per unit, let's just say on average, I made $2,500 per loan, right? So that would mean $250,000 divided by $2,500 meant I needed to close 100 loans. Does that make sense? Yes. So now what you've done is you've given a number to every single thing on your slate. So take a look at all of your business offerings across all of your entities and do the math. Because what you're going to do later, and hopefully I'll get an opportunity to just send kind of a write-up so that you can kind of continue this process when we leave here, and I'll be able to answer some questions through Q&A. But then you're going to get down to grinding the numbers. So I knew that if I wanted to close 100 loans, then I needed 10 new leads every day. If I didn't have 10 new leads every day, then I was not going to get the 2 appointments, and I was not going to close the 1 loan. Does that make any sense? Okay, let's open it up for Q&A. Is there a microphone?
There is,
okay.
there it is. Where do you want her to go?
This young lady here.
So everything that you shared was really, really powerful. And what stood out to me, one of the things that stood out to me the most was that you talked about your 16 team members and that you would trust them with your lives. What steps can we take to vet people and to continue that thread throughout our work to ensure that that stays intact, that we're hiring the right people from the beginning and that we're doing the right work necessary to keep that intact and alive?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Thank you so much for asking. Do you realize if you go to work for any major brand, whether it be McDonald's or Target or Walmart, or even if you start a network marketing business like Mary Kay, when you enter that brand as an employee, a representative, or an ambassador, what's the first thing that they do? What's the first thing Nationwide is going to do if they hire you? They're going to teach you about what? Their culture. They're going to teach you about their culture. You're going to have to learn the history. You're going to have to learn what their values are. You may even have to take a test. Has anybody ever taken a test at a company on what the culture is? So when we hire people, the first thing that we do, and I would say to every entrepreneur in this room, first of all, check your integrity. Because I can only receive what I give out into the world. Let me give you an example. We had an assistant working for us at one time, and she also worked at a major hospital. And if I would call her and say, oh, we're going to the such and such, I need some copies. She'd say, oh, no problem, I'll make the copies. I said, no. She was going to make the copies at her place of employment. I don't want you making copies. Now, we're a small business. And of course, I could use the help in getting somebody else's copy. You know, the paper, color copies cost a lot of money. I need 1,000 of them. You know, how much money is that? You have to mortgage your house to make copies, right? But I told her, I do not want you putting yourself in the line of integrity fire by making copies for my business. That's number one. Number two, if somebody's in my business, I don't want them using my resources for somebody else's business. So you really have to check yourself, and you have to only receive what it is that you want to give out. So when we hire people, we actually have an integrity training. What if someone comes up to you and says they know something about MC Lyte or Russell Simmons or this, that, and the other? I've been managing and handling celebrities' finances for over 20 years. I don't care if you play the videotape on my life that I don't know about, you will never find that I have breached confidentiality or that I have been outside of integrity. Never. Not even once. So I teach that, right? So that's the first thing. Know who you are in business. And when you hire people, don't just hire the first person that comes up looking nice, talking, and like Lyte said, out of desperation. How many of us have hired people out of desperation? How many of us wanted to kill them? How many of us were willing to go to jail? I'm just going to go to jail for this. I'm just, you know, my life is over, you know.
Well, tell them you fired your mama.
Yeah, oh yeah, I fired my mama, honey, because, you know, she was, yeah, you got to fire the people. You have to let them go. Because let me tell you something. Here's the other thing. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Let me just put it in real terms. You can have millions of dollars and lose it in your business with the wrong people. So it's not the money, it is the people. So put everything that you have. That's probably the single most powerful question that could be presented here. Because as you go back with this master achievement plan, unless you plan on being like the squirrel on the wheel and just keep running around, the idea is you want to shift. If you walk on a treadmill, you're walking, but you're not going anywhere. The idea here is to shift and to move into another dimension. So that's a great question.
And another thing she says is just making sure that their whole life is together. Yeah. Right? Because if they have issues in some other areas, it's bound to bleed over into what it is that they do for you.
Yeah. And so when we do a hiring process, first of all, we vet people sometimes for many years. Sometimes people volunteer for a very, very long time. We get to see their attitude, we get to see their culture. When I first started helping MC Lyte, I wasn't making any money. I didn't need to. I didn't even want to. I came to her to help her start a foundation. And at the time, I was chief operations executive over one of Russell Simmons' companies, and I was the #1 insurance professional at a major Fortune 100 company. So I didn't need money. So when I first started working for her for the first 6 months.
She paid me. No, I'm joking.
I didn't, and as a matter of fact, our deal was, I don't want any money. She had just let go her manager. I thought it was the honorable thing to do to continue to pay him, you know, 20% or whatever it was that he was making for X amount of time as severance for all the work he had put in. And then once I am on your team, what I told her is, I'm not going to be a manager. That's not what I do. I am a chief operating officer. I am a conductor of a train. And this is what someone like me does. I hire managers. So we're developing managers all across the country. And so it's really, really important. When we hire someone, we have multiple people interview them. Now, guess who? Nobody wants me to interview anybody. It's like they don't want them to come to me, because what's going to happen is I'm going to find out if your answer to question number 62 is the same as your answer to question number 2. And then you'll find out what people's real goals and intentions are, and then you can make a decision accordingly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Excuse me. I think we have run out of time. I don't know if we have
one more question.
We've run out of time.
Okay. But thank you so much, Dr. Richardson and MC Lyte. They were phenomenal.
Do you want to
gem after gem? We appreciate you, powerful women, so much.
Can she just do close?
Absolutely.
Just close.
Just close out, and I'm going to just take it really, really quickly to the absolute last slide here. It will not take me more than 30 seconds, I promise. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, that is your vision of perfection, and you have to go confidently. You can't do anything with fear, so throw it away. We drove here all night, and we only had 2 hours of sleep. But when I woke up, I said, I can't do nothing with tired, so I'm throwing it away. It makes no sense to walk around tired. I can't do anything with tired. I can't do anything with fear. I can't do anything with doubt. I can't do anything with hateration. I can only move forward with confidence. So if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, you will meet with success in unexpected and common hours. So in real time, you will have unexpected success. Things will happen that you don't even realize because you've been doing the work. You will pass an invisible boundary. That's called the overflow. New universal and more liberal laws will begin to establish themselves around and within him, and he will live with the licenses of a higher order of beings. Go and master your achievement plan.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you.